Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Tim and April Show. My name is April LaJoy.
My name is Tim Whitaker.
And we did not discuss that intro beforehand, and I still just did it.
I don't want to be that guy, but I did say before we started recording, hey, I could do the intro this time because it's my last show for a month. And then you just bulldozed right in.
I didn't hear you say that at all. I think you were muted.
Was I?
No, I honestly didn't hear you. I was probably fitted. I don't know. My bad.
That's so
didn't mean
funny.
to cut you off there. Missed that. No wonder when I started
my last
talking,
show for a month. So excited.
That's why you gave that that kind of shocked face when I started. I thought you were just shocked. I was like, oh look, this is great. But no, you were shocked because I stole it from you. Maybe.
I'll tell you what, we'll do half and half. You do the intro. Friends, we have so much to talk about today. Okay, we're going to cover Ryan Walters. We're covering Epstein updates. We're talking about Gaza, of course, and our good old friend, Sean Foyt. That Christian persecution complex is just so sweet. Plus, of course, weird Christian shit. That's all coming your way. Thanks for being here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Drop a like in this video. It helps it get out to more people. And yes, this is my last show for a month. I'm taking time away from the New Evangelicals and from the show. My team, Melinda Hale, executive director, and the board said, Tim, take a break. It's been 4 years. You need a break. Spend time with your family. And I said, you know what? I will do that. So April, you're on your own. See ya.
On my own. But I might be pressed down, but I'm not destroyed.
That's right.
Persecuted,
Persecuted,
not abandoned. Yeah. I will be having
You're blessed
some
beyond
lovely...
the curse.
Yes, I'll have some lovely guest hosts with me every Thursday for the month of August. We won't be doing our deep dives, so there'll be no Monday episodes in August. But come join us live every Thursday on YouTube at noon Eastern, or catch the podcast after. But Tim, you will definitely be missed. And also, I'm glad that you're back because you got raptured at the end of the last live and left me hanging.
I know.
Quite
that was
literally. I was like, Tim?
And I was in the middle of one of those like Tim rants. I was really getting my momentum. I'm like, you know what they always say, blame Obama. And then I just cut right out. I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Because I lost power for like a split second. It was just enough time to turn everything off. And then when I got things back up and running, I could not get back into the green room to get me back into the show. So I ended up calling you on the phone at the end and wrapping it up. So it was a lot of fun. But friends, one last thing I'll say: all super chats will get read live automatically, and they support the work that we do here. So thank you so much for your support. It means the world. But yes, I'm back. Like Jesus Christ himself, I am back. I have returned.
No, don't compare yourself to Jesus. You're not Trump.
We're both white men. You know, there's a lot of comparisons between me and Trump. Me and Jesus.
Yeah. For those who are watching, I am in a different location because I am in Georgia visiting my in-laws, and I've been here all week. And so Tim and I really haven't talked too much because I've been trying being the keyword to unplug. But how does one unplug? Really?
I don't know. I don't know.
When you do a news show-ish, kind of news. I don't know. What is this?
Yeah. I don't know.
But you had tell me about your weekend, because you got a little getaway or something, right?
Let me just say, look, for all of the I hate banter people out here, it's my last show, so I don't care because we're going to banter for a minute. I had a great weekend. Sarah and I celebrated 9 years married together, 11 years since we started dating, and we got away. So I live in New Jersey by Philadelphia, and about 2 hours away is Lancaster. And it's like a lot of Amish folks are there. It's a very nice area, very remote, kind of like off the beaten path, but also popular at the same time. It's very like countryside kind of feel. And we spent time at a it was called the Day Inn, or it was called the Spa and Inn, and it was located. I'm not making this up. It was located in Intercourse, Pennsylvania. That's the name of the town. So I swear to God. That's the name of the town. And I rented, we did like the big suite. It was upstairs all to ourselves. And it was so nice. We left Friday morning. I surprised Sarah with a massage. We did some sushi. And then we drove out to Lancaster, spent 2 days there, came back on Sunday. And we even got matching tattoos. Do you want to see them?
I do
I
want to
know.
see
I
them.
know. It took us 9 years, but we finally did matching tattoos. So yeah. Oh, by the way, Cassidy's producing again. Thank you, Cassidy. Go ahead and hit that play button, and I'll walk you through it.
That's
Oh,
hilarious.
in this life and the next.
Yes, and then a kiss, of course.
Aw.
So I got in this life on my thigh, and Sarah has in the next on her thigh. So when we stand together, it matches. I would just say one more thing about this, kind of a funny story. We walk into the tattoo shop that Sarah found online, brand new shop, very cool people. But I saw someone wearing a Faith Over Fear shirt, and I'm like, that's really interesting. So I start talking to the
Hmm.
shop owner. And somehow, of course, he asked, "What do I do for a living?" I'm like, "Oh, I do content creation." He's like, "Oh, that's really cool." And I say, people always ask, "Well, what do you talk about?" And so my go-to response to that is, I always say, I talk about the things that ruin friendships and that you don't talk about over dinner: politics, religion, and culture. And he goes, "Oh, what kind of like religion? Like Christianity?" I'm like, "Yeah, but more progressive Christians." So he goes, "Oh, so like deconstruction?" And I'm like, "Yes." So I think I'm talking to
Oh.
someone who's like, bro, I get it. Turns out he was a former YWAM person, and he was going to seminary to just to gain more wisdom. Very much still, I think,
Wow.
evangelical leaning. But we had a very nice
Hmm.
discussion while he was tattooing me. I also had to be very cautious though, because I didn't want to get him upset, because he had the tattoo gun in his hand. And that's a lot
Yeah,
of power. So I was like, yeah, man.
that
But
is
no, in
power.
all seriousness, we had a really good time. It was a great trip. And he was a very cool dude. We had a really good, cordial conversation, started following each other on socials. So that was my weekend. It was great.
I love that. I spent my weekend speaking at an atheist conference as a
Wow.
Christian. Sole Christian,
Wow.
and it was like, for the record, everyone was super nice, very welcoming, and they had me there to speak on Christian nationalism, and so we were kind of joining forces because shared values over shared beliefs sort of thing. But it was funny the amount of people that came up to me and like, "You're so brave for being here." I was like, "Why? What are y'all gonna do?"
Isn't it kind of funny how old Tim and April dreamt about going to those places, but for different reasons?
I know. I
Like
did
to preach
joke.
the
I was like,
gospel.
what if my entire deconstructing and like writing the book and all of that was just to get to this moment to where I could
Right.
go to the atheist conference and lead them all to Jesus
Yeah, that's
undercover?
right. That's right.
Just
Be
kidding.
the good Christian. So, but honestly, was it good? Like, did you have a lot of fun? Was it interesting? What do they talk about at atheist conferences? Do they sing songs to?
They
I don't even
actually
know.
did. So they had a gospel choir. It was called the
No.
Godless Gospel Choir. And they had this I mean, they sang beautifully. It sounded just like any choir that you'd hear at church, but they were singing about giving thanks to the earth and for friends and to your family and to science and to education, and basically, and then they'd be like, everything but God. It was like the opposite of every church conference I've ever been to, but the content was kind of the same, oddly enough. Like
Wow.
there was
Wow.
there were songs, there was community, there were breakout sessions, there was hanging out in the lobby till late nights. It was like, this is a church conference, but like sans God.
Well,
It
April,
was very
everyone
interesting.
worships something, even the atheists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. I think they'd argue with you on that. But yeah,
That's
it was it
funny.
was it was a very everyone was very nice. I'm glad I got to experience it. But I will say, after being there and hearing, like, it's I love hearing other people's perspectives and curiosity. And like, to be honest, there's been moments when I see just the depravity of the world and
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
awful it is, where I'm just like, is there a God? Like, am I a Christian? Like, could I be an atheist? And then like being there, I was like, no, I'm definitely a Christian. Like, I'm not that great.
Ah.
I'm glad for them that they have figured out, where they are, but I'm just not there. I'm not. But it was a really cool experience. So I'm thankful
I
to them for letting me come.
I don't think that we talk enough about the thought of wrestling with the existence of God as Christians, but that's for a different discussion. Because I think about the same thing, where
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, man. This place is pretty chaotic. There's a lot of death, a lot of like bad things happening in the world. Is there a God behind all this? And like, it doesn't. Anyway, for a different discussion. But I do think about that myself. But yeah, I'm glad that you went. I'm glad that you preached the gospel to all the nations and all the
Stop.
people. Just
Stop. No. Yeah, I mean, it was really it was really cool. We had like a panel at the end where it was 2 atheists and then me and one other Christian that they brought in who was, I think, a Methodist pastor. And we were just kind of asking each other, like, what are things that you kind of envy or value of the other belief that you wish you could have but don't? And it was, I don't know, it was just a really, I really appreciated just that we could be honest about these conversations and come together and just realize that shared values really are more important. And I actually teared up at one point because I'm like, I am in a room full of atheists that fundamentally disagree with some of my core beliefs and vice versa. But they were so kind and welcoming, and they would have been more welcoming to me than a lot of conservative Christians. Like, I felt more welcomed and loved there than I would at a lot of evangelical churches today. And it was both beautiful and also made me a little sad to realize that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Well, one question about this: were there any? Sometimes I see people look. Fundamentalism can exist in any space, including in atheist spaces. I've certainly met some people online who are like, "You're stupid for being a Christian." Did you meet anyone or see any speakers that were just kind of like had that kind of attitude of like, "Look, like if you're a person of faith out there, like you're just a moron." And this is stupid, or was it more of like that holding space? Hey, we disagree on some core beliefs about God, but despite that, we can still work together.
I think for the most part, it was the latter, but there's always a few, there's a few people that would say it's stupid to believe in God. And I can appreciate someone feeling that way,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I don't take it personally. I did tell the room though. I was like, hey, if you want to be a fundamentalist atheist and you go into Christian comment sections and just start berating them and are condescending to them, like I mean,
right.
I still get that every once in a while.
Yep,
Most atheists that I know are super awesome. But every once in a while I do get that. And I just can brush it off because I understand the anger at the
yes,
church and
yes,
projecting that on all Christians. Like I do
yep,
get it because I'm also angry with the American church. I said,
yep,
but when you do that to like a conservative Christian or a Christian nationalist, they're going to wear that like a badge of honor, and to them that's going to be proof that Christian persecution exists, and that's going to just validate every stereotype that they've been taught about atheism, that
yeah,
they're demonic and that they hate God and like all of this stuff, even if that's not what you said. But I was
right.
just like, that doesn't help. And they applauded. I was like, oh, look at
I
us. Look
love
at
that.
us
I
hanging
love that for
out.
you, April. Hey, we just got a super chat. Queer as trans super chat. I know my name is crazy, so you don't have to read that. Well, we did, lol. But FYI, you guys give me so much hope in these icky up times. Thank you so much, friend. Thank you so much for the super chat. It means the world. Also, I want to say again, shout out to Cassidy, who is running and producing this show. Great job as
Yep.
always. So cool. And I must say, it's so nice to be freed up of that responsibility while we're doing this. So it is
Yeah.
awesome. Okay. Anyway, wow, so much to get into. So why don't we keep moving on here?
Yeah.
I You want to start on a kind of a happy note, a fun note?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do a fun note. We like fun
Okay.
notes.
Yeah, so Trump was in Scotland, and
Mm-hmm.
he spoke to some people, but Scotland had other plans in place, and they decided to play the bagpipes over him talking. So if you're listening to this on podcast only, I'm so sorry for what you're going to hear, but the visual is also hilarious. So if you get time, watch it on YouTube. But here's a little summary of Trump's trip to Scotland.
We're going to come down and steal aluminum or other parts or anything? Well, we're in great shape. The trade deal was made with UK, and the Prime Minister did a great job. You know, they've been trying to make that deal for...
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Doing the Lord's work.
It almost sounds like that was like added over like the video in
Yeah.
post production, but it's not. That really happened.
It makes me want to get some bagpipes and learn it.
Right,
And then just
right.
anytime that someone starts saying something that's just awful, just
Trump also went golfing in Scotland. And it turns, look, I mean, why do we act surprised with what we're about to watch when we know that Trump is a man who lies and cheats about everything? But April, I think it was a few weeks ago where there was like a doctored video going around of Trump cheating at golf. And we were like, hey,
no,
this video...
it was like he whiffed. It was him whiffing.
Oh, that's
Like he
right.
missed the
Whiffing.
ball.
Whiffing.
Yeah, but
Right,
it wasn't
it
real.
was doctored. But this video is real, okay?
Yeah.
So this video is real. And that's why we call it the fake stuff, right, April? Because it's only a matter of time before that kind of stuff becomes reality. So this is one of Trump's people on the golf course here. You're going to see him give Trump a little bit of a boost. Let's take a look. There it is. Cassie, let's do it one more time. Back that bad boy up.
So
One
watch.
more time.
Is that his caddy? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Throws the ball back.
All right, that's good. Yeah.
So he had a different ball tossed back to have a better placement, and then Trump gets out to hit that ball.
You gotta love it.
That is cheating. Caught in 4K.
No, he's a competitive player. You know, he's so good. That's why he wins all the tournaments. Obviously, April. You know what I mean? So anyway, Cassie, thank you for putting that on the screen. It's helpful. It also, I'm sorry for the audio on that. It's in slow motion, so it was like, you know, all slow and stuff, and sounded weird. But
we got another super chat.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. Where'd it go? From Kyle. Kyle Young says, wanted to say I started Star Spangled Jesus yesterday. Yay! I hope you enjoy it. Also, if you are listening right now, or you're here or listening, Amazon and I think Kobo, is that how you say it? Has a super sale right now on my Kindle version for just $1.99, $1.99. That's it. And it's only for the next couple days. So if you haven't had a chance to get it and you want it, you can get the ebook edition for $2 currently. So just
pick it up.
Throwing that out there. Yeah.
Pick it up. And Trish, thank you for the super chat. April, thank you for writing your book. It helped me understand why my extended family continues to support the current administration. Thank you.
Thank you so much for reading it, Trish. I really appreciate that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, Trump, golf, April, I'm sorry. What's that in the back of your screen? Is that Satan with Trump?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see anything.
What? No, I'm telling you, it's there again. It's there. It's Satan. Is that a picture of Trump? April, what
I don't
is going
see
on
anything.
With your screen? No, April,
I don't know what you're talking about. This is a political smear campaign.
No, it's there again, April. I see it right now.
It isn't. There's nothing
there,
there,
dude. Clear. Nope. Look, no, it's gone now. But it was just. I swear to God, it was just there. No, it's back. April, what is wrong?
No, I don't know. That's not me. I didn't do that.
April, but it's on the screen. It's on your screen.
It's Obama's fault. This is a politically motivated attack on my life. God. I don't know what this is.
Oh my God, April. We have to do it. We have to do an investigation, a third-party investigation, do a deep dive of what just happened. We absolutely.
You know what though? This does remind me of a similar story. This did happen to Ryan Walters.
It did?
An Oklahoma superintendent.
No. Wait, the Christian dude? Like the 10 Commandments in the schools, the Bible in every school guy? That dude?
Yeah. Yes. You know what though? And it was worse than a very irreverent South Park episode that I laughed at too hard, but didn't know if I should. This was actual Ryan Walters was in a meeting, and on the TV screen in his office, just out of nowhere, some porno started playing. No. Naked women.
April, if there's one thing you and I know about Christian nationalists, they are consistent in their ethics, especially around these kinds of topics. There's no way. There's no way that happened. I mean,
well, of course. I mean, he's
ridiculous.
Definitely saying there's no way, and he's saying this is politically motivated attacks, and that there's no way he had anything to do with that. Whatsoever. But this really did happen.
No, it did. I'm sorry. I'll stop being sarcastic now. But no, it really did happen. And I think one of the great ironies about all this is that there is an investigation going on into this. And Walters came out and was like, hey, they've already cleared me of the investigation. And the investigators were like, no, we haven't. We have not cleared you. The investigation is still in the infancy stages. Quote, we're aware of what has been told to the media, but obviously we have to do our own due diligence to speak with those witnesses that are involved to determine whether there was anything criminal. And they are very clear that they have not cleared their names. So Walter said, we have had our name cleared by both OMES and the sheriff's office. There is nothing scandalous that I was part of whatsoever. But the investigators said that simply isn't the case. Our investigation is still ongoing. In fact, I would categorize it as being in its infancy. This is going to be a very thorough investigation. And once the investigation is complete, we're going to be very transparent with our findings. So
let me tell you,
go.
this is what went down, okay? This is according to people who were in the room.
Give me the story.
So there was it was a closed meeting, right? So the doors were closed, and it was being held to discuss teacher licensing and a student attendance appeal, whatever. And so someone told the Oklahoman, I was like, those are naked women. And then I was like, no, wait a minute. Those aren't naked. Surely those aren't naked women. Something is playing a trick on my eye. Maybe they have on tan bodysuits. This is just really bizarre. I saw them just walking across the screen, and I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I even have to use this language, but I'm like, those are her nipples. And then I'm like, that's pubic hair. What in the world am I watching? I didn't watch a second longer. And then apparently they brought the attention to Ryan, and Ryan was like, what is this? What is this? Turn it off. And that's how that went down.
Wow. And so far, from what I read about the investigation, or what I've heard, all search history was clear. There was no search history on the TV, so that's never a good sign. You know, like if your search history is completely clear, it's highly sus. Like if I'm on, when I used to work for Apple, I used to work in like for their tech and stuff in the stores. If one of the hard parts about it is that if you're working on someone's phone, you always have to ask for permission before you go into their camera roll, because you just don't know. But whenever I would see in like their Safari browser, no history, I'd be like, bro, okay, I get it. You were prepping before you came to the store. It's just instant like suspicion. I'm sorry.
So his office is claiming that none of his devices were ever connected to that TV that was in his office.
Okay.
And then he also said, this is Ryan Walters. He said it's a junk tabloid lie. Absolutely no truth to the allegations that it came from his device. And he said, quote, any number of people have access to these offices. You have a hostile board who will say and do anything except tell the truth. And now the Wokelahoman is reporting on an alleged random TV cable image.
The Wokelahoman.
So he's saying Wokelahoman instead of Oklahoman.
Unbelievable.
I'm pretty sure the women that were in there are also Republicans. Like, it's fellow Republicans that are calling for this investigation.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all. And look, the man already lied about being cleared when he wasn't.
Yeah.
Why are we going to trust him now? Like, there's
also, no one in the initial story, no one was blaming Walters anyway. They were just saying it was weird that these pornographic images came on, and he immediately was like, well, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Right.
But no one accused you.
Right.
We were just saying it was weird. He should have just been like, wow, we really need to get to the bottom of this, instead of immediately being like, it wasn't me. Definitely wasn't me. And upon reading about this story, and I know we have some more super chats, we were going to get to those, but I don't want to forget this thought. And thank you. He sent back in 2023, emailed pornographic images to his co-workers in a fellow Republicans, and he did it to try to prove that there was porn in public schools in Oklahoma. This is a guy who's wanting to ban all sorts of books, claiming there's pornography. But he, in his email, so according to Representative Mark McBride, said that the email that he got from Ryan Walters contained no evidence of a connection between these pornographic images and an Oklahoma school. And it didn't even mention a school. There was no context for why he was sending these pornographic images. After the fact, he was like, well, I was just sending proof of what we're seeing in our schools, but provided zero evidence that those were in schools. Weird.
You're kidding me.
Weird
and that was
stuff.
2 years ago? That was 2 years ago.
That was in 20. So that was according to Fox 25, March 30th, 2023. So
we already have one example of him doing something like this and giving some BS excuse that the evidence does not verify, right? Because the claim is that I was trying to prove that this stuff is in schools, but it wasn't related to what's being in what was in schools, and there was no context, right? It was just sent.
It's just sent. It looked, from what I can gather, it seems like it was just the photos.
Okay. Let's get through
Yeah.
these super chats real quick. Friends,
Yeah.
by the way, if you're just joining the stream, thank you so much. Welcome in. We go live every Thursday, 12 o'clock Eastern. I'll be taking the month of August off. April has some amazing guests to fill in my place. Please make sure to give this video a like. It helps get it out to more people on YouTube. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We are a couple hundred away from hitting 8,000 subscribers. That'd be so helpful. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Wow, a bunch of super chats came in.
We have another one from Kyle Young who said, "I needed the hardback, sis."
Oh, nice.
I appreciate that. I love a good hardback too.
Same.
Let's see. Where are the others?
Well, we have one come in from Emily. Emily said, "Buy your own." Thank you.
Oh, the one on the screen is from Stevie.
Yeah. Oh, one from Stevie. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong screen.
It's too
Can
many
you read
things.
that?
Yes, I so much appreciate that you both are deconstructing with humor and joy. Star Spangled Jesus is such a wonderful book. Oh, I added in such. Excuse me. And yes, I am a gender fluid person who clowns as a girl doll clown. I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I really appreciate that. And Callie Joy, love to hear the bagpipes used for good. Same.
Hell yeah.
Holy bagpipes.
Thank you so much.
Holy bagpipes, cool. Batman.
Thank you so much, friends.
Oh.
Means the world. Oh, and Celeste King. So grateful for TNE. Tim, so happy you're taking care of you. Have a fantastic break. April, can't wait to see your solo shows. Thank you. Yeah, we move into a new house tomorrow, actually. And I'll still be around on my personal account at Tim Whitaker Speaks. So I'll be around here and there. Oh, and Emily, thank you so much for the super chat. Wow, it's a super awesome. Chatty day. Thank you, friends.
We love that.
All super chats support the work of the show. They cover production costs, and every now and then we get demonetized for sharing anything that is like music related or Jubilee related. So it helps cover that as well. Wow, another one? Oh my goodness.
Wow, Jacqueline. Jacqueline said, actually made it to the live stream today. Yay, welcome. I look forward to this podcast every week. Love seeing April and Shiny Happy People season 2.
Love
Thanks
that.
for
Thank
watching.
You.
Okay, back to Ryan Walters and then we'll move on.
Yes, thank you.
I just want to say that I do think the people who are the most like bold and loud about trying to put Christianity into schools and the people that are railing the hardest against quote unquote pornography in schools and wanting to ban all these books in the name of God, I feel they are usually the ones hiding some things.
Yeah. Did you hear the story of, I think it was last week, that the former CEO of a Christian nonprofit pled guilty to possessing child abuse material? Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Yes. In the name of his organization, My Faith Votes. What does that tell you?
Gosh.
Jason Christopher, age 56, Jason Christopher Yates, age 56, pleaded guilty to 2 of 8 felony counts of possession of, CA, on July 22nd. And he is he served as the CEO of My Faith Votes. Yeah, I mean, but why are we surprised when their Messiah in chief is this serial sexual abuser? Like, why are we surprised, right? This happens all the time. Look, we covered this too, the Moms for Liberty scandal, right? One of the women was involved in like a tryst with her and her husband. And by the way, live and let live. Like, I don't care about that stuff that you do consensually with other adults in your bedroom. It's just the principle of you fight for these so-called family values of getting the filth out of America when you yourself are participating in those very things. Ugh.
And can I just say too, and according to a Wallet Hub study, this is like within the last week, Oklahoma as a state ranks 50th in the nation for public education.
Of course they
do. And
do.
Ryan Walters thinks mandatory teaching Bibles, some good news. He made it a mandate for public schools in Oklahoma last summer to teach Bible classes, and large public schools, for the most part, have pretty much just ignored that. So that's good.
That's great.
And I do believe that the Oklahoma Supreme Court is still pending on whether or not he can put all those new Bibles that he bought, Trump Bibles, into the schools. And I know he's asked for like another $3 million to buy more that he doesn't currently have the funding for. So, but also, what does he think that's going to do? Sticking up the 10 Commandments or teaching Bible class? Like, you're already ranked so low. Maybe increase wages for teachers. Help teachers out with that funding as opposed to just sticking Bibles in there. If you want to actually not be in last place when it comes to education in the country? I
What
don't
do you
know.
think is going to happen, right? I mean, like it's play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You want to spend tax money on Bibles in schools, and you're shocked that you're 50th in the state when, like, teachers all across America, but I'm sure especially in Oklahoma, have to buy their own classroom supplies and are getting paid, borderline poverty wages to educate America. And Ryan Walters is super hostile to teachers. Like, he goes after
Yeah.
teachers. What do you think is going to happen? Wow. Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
No.
We have so many more super chats. I keep
I know.
flooding.
Another
Oh my
one from
goodness.
Kyle.
Kyle's on a
bringing the heat
roll
today.
Jeez.
Ryan says
Thank
more
you,
like
Kyle.
Brian Falters. Am I right? I like that play on words.
That's a good one.
And
see.
another one from Trish.
Yeah.
I shared some posts from the New Evangelicals on Facebook, and a cousin who wasn't making political posts thanked me and is now sharing too. That's awesome.
I love that. Thank you. That's awesome. Love to hear that.
And then we have one from Kylie. You can read this one.
Y'all have helped me heal more from my religious trauma. While I'm still a pagan, I'm now comfortable working with Jesus and honor him in my practices. Kylie, thank you so much. That is so awesome. I would make a joke here about converting you again, but that would not be the right thing here. So I appreciate, maybe I made the joke by accident by saying that. No, I'm just fooling around. Yeah. But no, for real, Kylie, thank you so much. Well, another one. April, this whole show's gonna be reading super chats.
Thank you. This is why our shows are longer, but seriously, so thankful. Deanna, are we saying that right? Deanna, or is it Deanna? I think it's Deanna, but
I think
correct
Deanna.
us if we're wrong. The Walters response is giving astronomer CEO affair Coldplay audience cam. It is. Also, I'm having spine surgery next week and we'll still be watching the lives. They help my mental health so much. Oh my gosh, sending all the good vibes and prayers for your surgery. We never even talked about the Coldplay thing.
I know. We could be here for 4 hours. I just want to read one comment briefly that I think is really worth talking about. Elizabeth J. says, as a teacher right now, it's so deeply morally painful that I can't pay my gas bills, but ICE is getting more than my yearly salary as just a hiring bonus, and that racist from Jubilee is living off of donations. No, I mean, Elizabeth, you bring up a really good point. This is not part of the show that we planned, but just to emphasize what you're saying, it is wild to see these Republicans who claim about small government and fiscal responsibility spend billions of dollars. I mean, ICE is now more funded than the FBI. It's crazy how much money they got in that quote unquote big beautiful bill. And teachers, I mean, arguably one of the most important roles in America, right? Educating children and teenagers have to pay for their own school supplies. It is unbelievable to me that this is the America we live in, and yeah, I'm so sorry. It's crazy.
Not to mention, you're like almost twice as likely to commit a crime if you are a citizen. And yet ICE now is going to have more funding than police officers. When there's way more crime of citizens than there are people who are not here, who are undocumented.
Just
it's
disgusting.
Like we're majoring in the minors, and it's so
it's obvious. It's obvious.
Inhumane. Yeah.
This is why we always say, April, that if we wanted to get affordable health care done, they could get it done. They can find, I mean, Florida found $450 million for a detention center, where, by the way, it costs about 6 figures to house each detainee. Okay, so we're spending money on that as opposed to Florida taking care of their unhoused and people who might need, social benefits, because you can't do that. That's Marxism. Those people haven't worked hard enough to earn those kinds of benefits, right? It's just, it's obvious. It's obvious that if Republicans wanted to take care of this stuff that we talk about, they could. They just choose not to. Our tax dollars instead are going to that kind of stuff of concentration camps and ICE agents being masked up and literally kidnapping people, most of which are not even criminals, have not done anything criminal in this country. Yeah. It is unbelievable that we are here in America. Unbelievable. So
I know. And there's still just terrible things going on just all around the world too. And I know we got what's happening in Gaza last week, but we just wanted to bring it up again because it's not better. Just this week too, at least 77 Palestinians were killed in Israeli strikes, and a good chunk of them were waiting in line for aid. So you have people who are not only starving, they're also still being bombed and shot at for trying to get food.
Yeah, over 1,000 Palestinians have been killed waiting in line to get some sort of either medical help or food aid, and most of them have been children. And it is, there's this. I'm really glad to see a lot of people, even folks who were very much against supporting Palestine, are really kind of waking up to the reality that we are watching a genocide unfold in real time. I mean, it's been that's been encouraging. But we have to be very clear, okay? This article from NBC News is really worth kind of going through for a few minutes, just so people understand that the starvation that is happening there is not because of Hamas. This is such a classic tactic I hear from some people. Oh, well, Hamas is doing it. They're hoarding the food. First off, that's categorically false. Even Israel has admitted they have no evidence of Hamas doing that. But according to NBC News, Israel controls almost every part of aid distribution, which is plagued, they say, by bureaucracy, deadly attacks on civilians seeking food, and a bombing campaign that has escalated civil disorder. So let me translate that. Israel controls how aid gets distributed, and they're also responsible for all the chaos and the bombs that are making that impossible. As we speak, there are thousands of aid trucks loaded with life-saving food, water, and medical supplies, and hundreds more inside the border. Meanwhile, a handful of miles away, a third of Gaza's population is on the brink of starvation. Can we think about that? A third, 33% of Gaza's population, what's left of it anyway, is on the brink of starvation, most of which are children. So this article goes through and asks, why is it so hard to get aid into the enclave? The Israeli military, which manages the entry of all aid into the besieged enclave, says it has allowed in an average of 70 trucks a day since May, but that the United Nations and other aid agencies have failed to distribute it. But this number is already far fewer than the hundreds of trucks necessary to feed the population, according to aid agencies. And crossing the border into Gaza is just one hurdle in a broken distribution chain, largely controlled by Israel, since it began allowing a limited flow of aid into the Strip in May, following a nearly 3-month total blockade. So again, guys, I always have to give a caveat here. Critiquing the Israeli government and the military is not anti-Semitism. Okay, these are separate things. We obviously support the right of Jewish people to exist and flourish in America and in the world, etc. We denounce all forms of anti-Semitism. What the Israeli government is doing to the Palestinians is genocide. They have admitted to blocking all of the aid for 3 months. They are the ones who control what gets in and what gets out. Okay, and again, I want to be so clear about this here. People inside Netanyahu's administration have actually been mad at Netanyahu for even acknowledging that it would be wrong for Gaza to sink into a famine. Quote, the humanitarian aid currently entering Gaza is an absolute disgrace, according to Ben Givyar. I can't say that correctly. I'm sorry for his last name. What is needed in Gaza is not a temporary halt to the humanitarian aid, but a complete halt to it. These are people in the Israeli government saying this stuff. So I want to keep reading this. I think it's really important for information. Just so people are armed with data here, aid agencies say they want to deliver aid, but that Israel has riddled the process with delays, denials, changing schedules, and routes, sometimes at the last minute, making it difficult or impossible to safely retrieve the aid for distribution. Half of the 138 requests of the World Food Program made in the last week to collect aid from holding sites were denied. Guys, we have to tell the truth here. We have to tell the truth. These are war crimes. And by the way, not only has Netanyahu said that he's open to potentially annexing Gaza for Israel, many people in the Israeli government for months have been saying how they need to completely destroy and eradicate the Strip. This is not a secret. They've been saying it publicly for months. We're watching an ongoing genocide at the hands of the Israeli government, funded by the U.S. taxpayer. We are funding this because America funds the Israeli military to the tune of billions of dollars a year. Okay, and so we just have to tell the truth. We have to tell the truth. It's not Hamas that is starving their own people. It's not that there isn't enough food or that there's some kind of natural famine that's happened. There are thousands of food trucks waiting to get into the Strip.
Yeah.
Bottom line. And Israel is stopping it. It's abhorrent. It's evil. It's evil. It's evil.
No,
Sorry.
it really is. And I do think it's not really positive, but the United Kingdom, France, and now Canada have all said that they will recognize Palestine as a state in September in the United Nations General Assembly to try to push for a 2-state solution, because right now Palestine does not really have like national rights that they should have as a nation or as a state
That's
themselves.
right. That's right. Yeah.
Because of it's, I mean, it's there's the history there is long and complicated, but the point of the matter is the way that it is set up, Israel does have power over Palestinians, and what we are seeing why they're starving is because Israel is not letting them eat.
Yes, and I'm sorry to I didn't mean to talk over you, April. I'm just so passionate about this, as I know that you are and people in the audience are. But to be very clear, and by the way, I did a 4-part series on this in October of 2023. It's on the New Evangelicals podcast. It's a 4-part detailed series of kind of how we got here. It's very informative with some great scholars and also both Jewish and Palestinian voices on it. But one thing we don't realize, because for a lot of us, we just kind of woke up to what's happening in Gaza, between Israel and Gaza and the Palestinians, maybe in October, on October 7th. But Israel has had Gaza under siege since 2003. They've controlled the food supply. They control who goes in or who goes out. Half of the people who requested leaving the Strip to get medical care were denied by Israel. Okay, you want to leave by boat? There's a blockade in the sea. You want to try and get out of Gaza? You can't unless the Israeli government approves it. They control electricity. They control water supply. Like, we have to understand this. This is not like two nations at war for decades. One government has been literally oppressing a people group and slowly taking land away from them one step at a time. My friend Daniel Bonanora, who's a Christian Palestinian committed to nonviolence, says it's not an open air prison. It's an open air concentration camp. So what Israel has been doing, and again, the government of Israel, okay, not all Jewish people, not even, I would argue, most Jews, but the government of Israel, what they've been doing for a long time has been leading, in my opinion, has been leading up to this moment. And they've been very clear about that. It is horrific to watch kids that are my age, who cannot get food, who are literally dying in front of our eyes while their mothers hold them, sometimes wearing a trash bag for a diaper. That's what's happening right now in Gaza because the Israeli government refuses to give them aid. It's unbelievable.
Didn't Trump say something stupid recently too about like that Gaza didn't thank him for what? Was it a clip? Do we have that clip?
Yeah. We'll let the man speak for himself.
Okay.
Should Israel be doing more to allow food into Gaza?
What did you say?
Should Israel be doing more to allow food into Gaza?
Well, we gave $60 million 2 weeks ago, and nobody even acknowledged it, for food. And it's terrible. You really at least want to have somebody say thank you. No other country gave anything. We gave $60 million 2 weeks ago for food for Gaza. And nobody acknowledged it. Nobody talks about it. And it makes you feel a little bad when you do that and, you have other countries not giving anything.
Wow.
What an idiot. I'm sorry. Like, what is he talking about? They, like, the people in Palestine, how is he wanting them to thank him anyway? And did the food come in branded by Trump? I mean, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if he did do that, but
no, me either.
These people are literally if you're looking at the hierarchy of needs, they're at the, trying to get their very, very basic need of shelter, just surviving the next strike, of looking for their next meal, not knowing if they're going to have it. And he has the audacity, while he sits in an Oval Office that now looks like a TBN set because it's so gaudy and gold, and he sits there and he's like, well, why wouldn't they say thank you? He is so infuriating.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know how
much more egotistical and narcissistic can you get? I mean, imagine watching an ongoing genocide and being like, they didn't even say thank you. It's like, yeah, of course they would need to. Deanna gave a great super chat. I'm going to read this one out loud. MD here. You can't just send in food now. People need to be monitored for refeeding syndrome, which can unalive people. They need resources for that. No, exactly. I mean, Deanna, I think you're totally on the money. Like we're not. It's not just, oh, let's drop off some rice and potatoes and call it a day. There's a whole process that has to happen because of how bad things have gotten. And again, many human rights groups, many Doctors Without Borders have been saying this for a long time. The infrastructure in Gaza is wiped out. The hospitals are wiped out. The education systems are wiped out. People are dying of diseases. I mean, I saw a horrific video of a little infant covered in boils, screaming because they couldn't get help. You know, it's just like, it's a hell on earth. For all this evangelical talk about being afraid of hell when you die, they have no problem tolerating hell on earth here and now when it comes to other people in the world that they just don't give a shit about. And I really mean that. Like, we have to tell the truth here. You and I track white evangelicalism and what they talk about, what they're concerned about for a living, April. They have talked infinitely more about Chip and Joanna Gaines having a gay couple on their TV show than they've ever talked about what's happening in Palestine. This is from the so-called pro-life crowd, the ones who care about babies, right? They care about saving babies in the womb from the world's biggest Holocaust, yada, yada, yada. Meanwhile, children are starving to death in Gaza. They have not a damn thing to say about it, but they're mad at Chip and Joanna Gaines because they had a gay couple on their damn reality TV show. Wow, guys. Talk about whitewashed tombs. Talk about whitewashed freaking tombs. Like, if heaven exists, if there's a judgment and Jesus is there, he's probably going to quote Matthew 7 to them. Many will say to me, Lord, Lord, did we not do these things in your name? And he'll say, be gone. For only those who do the will of the Father will enter. And what's the will of the Father? What did Jesus teach? Take care of the poor, take care of the oppressed, feed the hungry, take care of the sick, not bitch and moan about what happens on reality TV. I'm sorry, Ali Sucky. That's not in there. It's not in the teachings of Jesus. But feeding the hungry is. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm so angry.
The hypocrisy is very maddening. We do have another super chat from Kim Harmon. She said, my husband had shoulder surgery. The hospital charged $1,500. The VA contract paid $300. We definitely have a major health insurance, healthcare issue in America on another thing. It's so expensive to live here.
It's ridiculous. Can I just shout out briefly Miss Rachel? Can we just talk about her for a second? Miss Rachel, who my kids watched for a lot of years, she, you want to talk about like moral courage. You want to talk about a prophetic voice compared to all of these alpha bros, like your Mark Driscolls who are like, oh, real men, so tough, alpha males. Like Miss Rachel, the sweetest lady maybe on the planet, has dedicated her entire platform over the past few months to the children in Gaza. Like literally has said, I will not work with people who have not talked about this publicly. Talk about like just moral courage and literally doing the work of God as much as you're able to while living in America, watching what's happening unfold. I think she's raised millions of dollars for food distribution. She highlights children in Gaza. She's visited children who have come out of Gaza. Like, she's been doing amazing work. And it is just so funny to watch these men. I'm thinking about Mark Driscoll, your Josh Howartons, these people who like make a living about like real manliness and being bold and being courageous in the face of culture are some of the wimpiest beta males I've ever seen. They won't even address this topic. Again, they're too busy crying over, gay people being recognized in public. So shout out to Miss Rachel for doing the work of Jesus. You are amazing. Just had to say it.
Yes. No, I agree. And actually, I think that's a good answer too. This other super chat from Queer as Trans. What do you guys do to keep your hope alive? I think Miss Rachel brings me hope. That doesn't exactly answer your question. I don't know. What do you do to keep hope alive? I like to try to focus on my small world with my kids and knowing that I'm trying to make the world better and, I don't know, find joy in the little things where I can.
Part of my hope is being able to do this. I love being able to go live with you, April, and talk to the audience and hear from their perspective as well. But yeah, I mean, I have two kids, right? 5 and 3. And there's like two worlds you have to operate in, right? There's the global perspective that you and I have to keep track of and talk about because we think that these are important things to cover, and we can do whatever, and we should do whatever we can to advocate for change. And also, I'm trying to raise two little radical boys who are gonna love their neighbor and be deeply empathetic, and hopefully make the world a better place. So I'm not here anymore, right? So it's like this both and perspective that I try and hold. They have no clue what's going on. They don't understand what's happening in Gaza or what it's like to live in America or who Trump is. And I'm trying to protect that for as long as possible so they can enjoy their childhood. So when they do grow up and they realize that injustice happens, they are fired up and motivated to do whatever they need to do to combat that in their own way.
Yeah. And I also think too, just like everyone in this chat and us kind of, I mean, this isn't church, but it's like where two or more are gathered, and we're talking about things on how to make this world a better place. And there's so many people fighting back and protests and people speaking out. Like there's a lot more good people in this world than there are people causing harm, in my opinion. And so I think just to find hope in that. We do have another super chat from Kyle. Again, thank you, Kyle Young. Said there are also Israeli activists that are destroying aid. I mean, that would not surprise me. I haven't seen
that. It's possible. Let me just look that up real quick while you're talking.
Yeah. Are we caught up on super chats? Oh no, we have another one from Kyle. My hope is shaking it crazy on the dance floor. Yes. Always good for a good dance party. Me and my girls have been dancing a lot to K-pop Demon Hunters. That whole soundtrack is just super fun and fiery. Oh, and another super chat from Edward Bryant. Thank you, Edward.
Wow.
Seriously, y'all are just
what a day.
Y'all are giving us the love today, and I super appreciate it.
I should go on vacation more often.
Speaking of Trump,
can I just really quick? I did fact check that. The only thing I found, and by the way, it's very possible that what Kyle said is correct. The only thing I found was from a year ago that Israeli protesters block aid trucks destined for Gaza. So yes, it definitely could still be happening, and it definitely has happened in the past.
Okay, thanks for the quick fact check. There's more on Jeffrey Epstein. I feel like this is just going to be like a weekly segment now because there's always something new about this whole Epstein situation. There's this video going around of Donald Trump being asked again about Epstein and whether or not he took girls from Mar-a-Lago. And I was honestly, I actually thought when I first watched it that it was AI, because AI is really starting to freak me out because now every time I see a video, I have to be like, is this AI or is this real? But I was surprised. I actually thought it was AI at first because of how oddly open Trump was talking about this situation. Because usually he just denies. And what he was saying was like, what do you mean you knew? I don't know. I don't know if it was like a Freudian slip. Anyway, you just play the video.
Before we play the video, really quick, the audio, I did my best to clean it up, so I'm sorry if it's a little noisy because this was taken on a plane. And also, if you're just joining the stream, welcome in. Please make sure to give this video a like. It will help get out to more folks. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're a couple, maybe 100 away from hitting 8,000 subs, and all super chats get read live. Thanks so much for being here, friends. All right, let's listen to what Trump had to say.
Saying that Jeffrey Epstein poached two of your staffers. Who were they? Were they young?
I don't want to say two, or I don't want to say any number. You're talking about many years ago. But yeah, he took people. And because he took people, I said, don't do it anymore. They work for me. And he took, beyond that, he took some others. And once he did that, that was the end to him.
Mr. President, Epstein has a certain reputation, obviously. But just curious, were some of the workers that were taken from you, were some of them young women?
Were some of them
young women?
Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. But that story's been pretty well out there. And the answer is yes, they were.
Yes, they were young women?
What did they do?
In the spa.
In the spa?
Yeah, people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago. And people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told them, I said, listen, We don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want him taking people. And he was fine, and then not too long after that, he did it again, and I said, out of here.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons, that include Virginia Giuffre?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people, yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know. None whatsoever.
So Virginia Giuffre's family, she died recently, not like in the last few years, but her family spoke out and said that they were shocked to hear Trump say that she was taken from Mar-a-Lago.
Who knows? You're dealing with a perpetual liar. Like, and also, nothing out of this man's mouth should be trusted. Sorry, April. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. This is really nitpicky on that whole diatribe that he just went on, but the way he talks is so funny to me because he's just so not eloquent at all. He said, yeah, we didn't want him taking people whether spa or not spa. I don't know why, but that use of grammar just...
It continues to baffle me because we all know if this was Obama, first off, a lot of folks on the left would be livid with that. But number two, this would be nonstop in the news. Like, they would call out all the blatant deceit. Now, obviously, this isn't Obama. This is Trump. And so Charlie Kirk, Ali Stuckey, your right-wing media world, they're going to give this man a pass. It's obvious. It's clear as it is that it's clear as day that Trump is lying and holding back. By the way, there was a clip going around a few weeks ago of Epstein being asked in a deposition if him and Trump ever hung out with underage girls, and he pled the fifth in that line of questioning. Like, how much more obvious does it have to be? Can we play, Cassie, the clip of John Oliver when you get a minute? I really think John Oliver sums it up so well of just like all of the examples and data we have of how close Trump and Epstein were. And then we'll go from there. Mm-hmm. I love this video.
And some of the harshest criticism is actually coming from Trump's most fervent supporters. Even the QAnon shaman posted, "Fuck this stupid piece of shit. What a fraud." And once you've lost dipshit Daniel Boone here, you are in trouble. And it's understandable why Trump's struggling to get even his own base to take his word for it that there is nothing to see here. Because to do so, you essentially have to believe everything we've learned about Trump over the years is irrelevant or sheer coincidence, that all Trump did was repeatedly host Epstein at Mar-a-Lago, have him at his wedding, hang out with him at Victoria's Secret fashion shows, get listed as a passenger on his plane 8 times, joke with him at a party while pointing out hot women and saying something into his ear that got the most grotesque smile in the history of human expressions. Tell a reporter, "I've known Jeff for 15 years, terrific guy, he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side," and allegedly host a calendar girl competition where, other than the 24 or so women flown in to provide the entertainment, the only guests were him and Jeffrey Epstein. You'd also have to forget about Trump bragging about his ability to grab women's genitals and claiming he'd go backstage at his beauty pageants while women were getting dressed, something he was accused of doing by 5 Miss Teen USA contestants, and once remarking of his own infant daughter Tiffany that she's got Marla's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got this yet, but time will tell. Beyond that, though, there's nothing there. Except for a jury finding him liable for sexual abuse, but other than that, there's nothing to see. And I should note, Trump denies the Epstein letter, the Calendar Girls contest, and the claims of walking in on Miss Teen USA contestants changing. He also insists he broke off ties with Epstein before he was convicted of soliciting sex from a minor, and he's repeatedly denied being told his name was in the Epstein files, despite reports Pam Bondi told him months ago that his name was in there. And I guess, ideally, Trump would have Jeffrey Epstein on tape vehemently denying their connection. Unfortunately, what he's got instead is this moment in Epstein's 2010 deposition.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
Yeah, not great.
That's good.
If the answer's no...
There you go.
Just
There you go.
Yeah. It is a bit damning,
Yeah,
I'd
you have
say.
to deny reality again. It's as clear as when Trump said that the election was stolen. And we're all like, no, it wasn't. We have all this data. I mean, even Trump's own team said it wasn't stolen. That's the level of deceit and lies that Trump is spinning. And again, right-wing pundits. Now, there are definitely like your hard. I think there are your true believers in like, hey, we want to stop child trafficking, like your shaman people who are like, this is bad. We obviously see what's happening here. But then there are your right-wing media pundits that have one job: defend Trump at all costs. And that's exactly what they're doing. And it's just clear as day. It's clear as day that this man hung out at a minimum often with someone who trafficked minors and abused them. I mean, for a long, long time. And to think that Trump is not somehow, really complicit in something, given some of the comments, I think it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And it was at his property.
Yes.
Where they were quote unquote stolen, as Trump said. And I want to fact check myself earlier. Virginia Giuffre died by suicide earlier this year, which is tragic. And I just want to focus, like, I know we're talking about Trump and the Epstein, and there's humor in the fact that it's so ridiculously obvious that he's involved in trying to do some kind of cover up. But what I don't want to miss in this conversation, and just try to remind ourselves too, is that there are survivors and real victims of what Jeffrey Epstein and whoever else was on that list. I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison right now for trafficking girls.
Yep.
She trafficked them to somebody.
Yep.
Those people are out there. But what they did to these young girls and women is absolutely horrifying. It is horrifying what these women had to go through. And now their stories are kind of being buried because of the list. And it's become this kind of political theater, which I'm glad. And for the record, I want Trump to be held accountable. And I'm glad that this is out there. And also, I just don't want us to forget the real victims of this story, which is not Donald Trump. He keeps saying, like, we want to release the list, but we want to protect the innocent names that might be on it. Okay, well, tell us, you're on the list then. It's so stupid. Also, why were young teen girls working at Mar-a-Lago in the first place?
I mean, Trump likes them young. His words. Trump is he's a womanizer. He's an abusive womanizer. We have all the data on this, and I agree with you, April. We absolutely have to remember that many of these victims, now survivors, are alive today, probably being re-traumatized by this whole thing and seeing how Trump's talking about it, right? Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. It is so, again, it goes back to what you were saying with Ryan Walters. The people who are yelling the loudest for family values, and we got to ban books because there's explicit content in children's libraries, and drag queen story hours grooming children, and oh my god, the gay pride festivals are so inappropriate, are the same people who are on their knees for a man who admits and has been found liable for assaulting women, and also saying gross. It's bigger than just the man is a womanizer. This man has said things about his own children that are disgusting. I would date my own daughter if she wasn't my daughter. Yeah. Saying about his infant daughter, she has Marla's legs, but then points to her chest, saying, makes a gesture with his hands, but talking about how, but we don't know if she has these yet, referring her. She's an infant. It's disgusting. And this is the man that 80% of white evangelicals have voted for in 2016 and 2020 and in 2024, which is why I say, if it came out factually that Trump indeed, here's the proof, was on the list, and that Trump is complicit in the trafficking of these underage children, it would not matter to white evangelicals, largely speaking. I'm telling you, they would find a way to twist it. They would blame the media. They would say it's a huge smear campaign. They would not accept the reality. And I say that because we have almost a decade of evidence of them doing that exact thing for every other major scandal with Trump, whether it was the insurrection or it was the election fraud narrative or it was whatever you can think of. there's always a reason why it's not what you think.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Or it's Obama's fault, and they're trying to accuse Obama of treason. Now, just like pulling it out of their booty, like
Oh
what?
my God! Or the list was created by Hillary Clinton and Obama. Like it's such low.
So
The bar
dumb.
is so low for them. And honestly, Trump knows his base is just that dumb. And I hate to talk about that. I hate to talk like that about other people, but they eat this stuff up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Well, I also just want to push back a little bit on that. Like, I know people who are MAGA and Trump supporters that are smart people in other ways. Do you know what like? There's also this kind of willful ignorance that is existing. And I think there are people intentionally burying their heads in the sand, unable to see Trump for who he is. And also, when you come from the evangelical world, you are also conditioned to defend your pastor at all costs. Don't touch God's anointed, right? That's why you see so many scandals that get covered up in Christian world, because you don't want to touch God's anointed. You're always wanting to protect the ministry, to protect the testimony at all costs. It doesn't matter who gets hurt along the way, as long as the agenda of saving souls, or in this case, saving America, is protected. And I think it's easy to make that jump when you're conditioned to defend your pastor at all costs to now defending your president at all costs. But the evidence it's so obvious when you're on this side, and it is frustrating. But
I'm not sure what's worse.
It's not just that they're stupid. There's like this willful ignorance and indoctrination that is part of it as well.
That definitely part. No, I mean, look, I think you're right on that for sure. Which I think for me is only worse than being stupid. Like being willfully ignorant and again, looking at what's happening and claiming to be someone who takes truth seriously while burying your head in the sand as the most immoral and depraved president in our lifetime, right? Is being found to have lied about being on a list by a child trafficker, a pedophile. Yeah. And you think somehow this is like not that big of a deal, or well, Chip and Joanna Gaines. Like I'm sorry. I get to a point with some of these folks where I'm like, I can't have the conversation with you. I'm done. Yeah. Like I'm all out of F's to give when it comes to this kind of stuff. Do not tell me that you were the same person blowing up the Wayfair. Remember the Wayfair cabinet story? Oh my God, Wayfair has these cabinets for $20,000, mostly trafficking children. Some of the same people who shared that nonsense are the same people who are silent about what's right in front of them when it comes to actual child abuse. I have no empathy. I have no grace for those kinds of people, because you're doing it to yourself. You are willfully, like you said, being ignorant, or you're just, I don't know what the right term is, but it's not on me to manage your ignorance on things that are staring you at the face and are yelling at you. You're like, nah, that's not true. But the Wayfair cabinet, the deep state, am I right?
Or like, the Pizza Gate, the pizza parlor underneath. In Washington, D.C. Exactly. I know. We have another super chat from a left layman.
Wow.
Amazing. Can't help myself. Has to do an ad for his spa midway through, defending from being a pedo.
Yeah, I know.
I did notice that. It's like, the best spa in the world. But it was bad whether they came from spa or not spa, because those are the two options at my hotel: spa or not spa. Thank you so much for the super chat. And we have another one from Kyle.
Ooh, Kyle's on fire.
I know. Thanks, Kyle. These are people who are okay with an ageless deity knocking up a 12-year-old, so I'm not surprised. I mean, fair.
That's a theological discussion for a different day, Kyle, but
another day. Okay. Well, another person that is also infuriating. Oh, I have a hard time loving this woman as I am supposed to love my neighbor. Whew. Nancy Mace. She went on a news show and said this about ICE.
This is real.
Kidnapping immigrants. Yeah.
This is not AI.
favorite things to watch on YouTube these days are the court hearings where illegals are in court and ICE shows up to drag them out of court and deport them. I can think of nothing more American today than keeping our streets safer by getting those violent criminals out of the United States of America, and we all have Donald J. Trump to thank for it.
I cannot stand this woman. What do you mean that's one of your favorite things? She's like she's like the KKK Mary Poppins coming in with her big old hat singing, "These are a few of my favorite things." And she's talking about families being ripped apart and kidnapped. And when she's talking about the court hearings, she's literally saying those are people going to their court hearings doing things the right way that they say is what they want. And they're still getting arrested. And they're doing the right thing. And she is smiling and laughing about it as like one of her favorite things. Like she's just watching some reality show, which I do think a lot of people treat human beings and this entire world that we're living in as a reality show. That's why they love Donald Trump. He comes from a reality show. He is a reality show president. But these people are real and there's real harm that is happening. And I cannot stand the glee that I see from fellow Christians at human suffering. And I don't know how to get them to care about people.
Yep. I mean, yep. All the words, 100%. We do this every single Thursday, April, right? We see this stuff and we say the same thing. How do you claim to follow immigrant Jesus, brown-skinned Jesus, and then rejoice in the dehumanizing and depraved actions of this administration, by the way, and also lie about what's actually happening? Again, we have the data. The overwhelming majority of these people have no criminal conviction, and the ones that do, most of them are minor, like traffic citations. That's how low level this stuff is. And for her to be giddy and glee over this, it just it proves what we say for a lot, what we've been saying. White supremacy, white nationalism, racism, it's alive and well, to the point where that is someone, I mean, that's like a high level person, like in our political world saying this. Yeah. And it's just seen as like, well, that's just, yeah, it's crazy. That's just MAGA for you. This isn't some rando on TikTok. This is someone with a lot of freaking power. And that is tolerated at a minimum by the Trump's base and by the Trump administration. We are watching the rise of white supremacy. It's out in the open. There's no more dog whistling. They are happy that immigrants that are going to court, doing the right thing, like you said, April, are getting arrested right after. Yeah. It's depraved. And someone in the chat earlier said, and I'm going to respond to this very kindly because I think that we're on the same team here. But they essentially said that, I'm trying to find where, calling people stupid will not win them over. Everyday people, not the leaders. Here's the thing. And Beth, I want to say, I understand what you're saying. And in a way, I agree with you. There are maybe more, moderate, not super, hardcore Christian nationalists or MAGA types. But when I call those people stupid, I was talking about the hardcore MAGA types. There are people that will watch this and that will support it. And this is why I have no tolerance anymore. I have zero tolerance for these people. You wonder how things in Germany went the way that they did. These are the ingredients, friends. We have all the ingredients of a bomb in America, and it's being assembled. A major bomb that can do some serious damage. And people are like, well, both and. I'm not saying Beth's saying that. I'm saying in general, well, the radical left too. Guys, we don't have a radical left problem. We have a radical Christian fascism problem in America. And every day that April and I do this show, we demonstrate to you why we believe that with freaking receipts.
Yeah. We do have some more super chats. Stephanie Tucker said conservatives don't even bat an eye when one of their own says they enjoy watching people suffer. Totally normal. Yeah, yep, that is our new normal now. Kyle Young again. Woo! The unabashed glee and suffering is insane. It's very wild and infuriating. I know. I don't
Yeah.
know how to do. Oh, and then Kim Harmon, another super chat. Thank you, Kim. Oh, and another super chat from, okay, I don't want to
Wow.
mispronounce this. Sarojin Abi. Tell me if I'm wrong, if that's incorrect. But they said they think a traffic ticket warrants deportation, but
Exactly.
self-confessed SA by the president is cute. 100%.
Yes, exactly. And just to wrap up this point, look, the white evangelical infrastructure and systems that have been built over decades, the publishing industry, the entertainment side of things, like all the networks, they are the vessels that carry this cancer through America. It is those churches that bring these people to speak at their churches. I mean, look, Dream City Church in Arizona, a mega church, has Charlie Kirk speak there regularly. Cornerstone Church in Virginia, Charlie speaks there regularly. I mean, there's so much evidence that the white evangelical mega everything, those are the veins where the poison is disseminated through. And that's why I get so frustrated. You don't have to be someone who has a MAGA hat on all day and has a MAGA flag outside all day and is like, deport the immigrant. But when you go to a church and you tie to a church that is one of the vessels that allows that stuff to go in and through your institution unchecked, you are complicit. You're complicit in this.
Well, and even people that have good intentions, which there are those, right? There's people that think they're doing the right thing by being on this side for whatever reason, but good intention does not negate impact. Like, you still have to be held accountable for good intentions. There were Nazis who probably thought they were doing the right thing for whatever reason. I mean, the church overwhelmingly in Germany backed Hitler.
Yes.
And history has shown how wrong that was. And it's going to show the same thing now later on. You know what? I will say that is one thing that brings me hope. If I ever get down, I just like to remind myself, hey, at least I know I'm on the right side of history. For better
100%.
or worse, I saw this and thought, no, I'm going to stand up to this.
Same.
Just, yeah, this terrible. I'm losing my words. I'm just so frustrated. Oh, we do have another super chat that I need to get to. And then
I can't believe it.
We do have some fun news. We'll get to the fun news right after this.
Yeah.
Kim Harmon, thank you. Quote unquote, illegals pay $97 billion in taxes each year.
Yeah,
that's another thing that they do. They do pay taxes. And you have all these like Republicans that try to make it seem like undocumented people are just moochers that don't contribute at all. They actually do a ton for our economy by being
100%.
here.
100%.
Like, not only are we paying more in taxes to boost the ICE budget, but just logically speaking, we're also hurting our economy by getting rid of a lot of really good workers that are being exploited, by the way, because they're doing cheap labor. But like, pick a struggle. They're just so inconsistent with what they actually want in this world. Okay, so some fun news. Sean Foyt is getting persecuted in Canada. He's not I mean, I would call it more being held accountable for being awful. But several of his, I guess, were they like, he had city permits or was trying to get city permits
so
to do his little
Sean
worship
Foyt's on
event.
tour. Yeah, and his permits are being rejected in a lot of places in Canada. That's the bottom line. And Sean's like, oh my God, Christian persecution. This is a demonic stronghold. We have to break through. I mean, the guy is such a great grifter. He's so good at spinning that web. It turns out that maybe some districts just don't want your bigotry and homophobia and propaganda espoused in public. So there's also that, which, by the way, can I just say something funny about this? Some people are like, oh my God, this feels like it's a huge infringement on free speech from Canada. And, you know, it's funny because one of the arguments that people like Sean and the Christian nationalists make is that, hey, countries are sovereign. They have their own borders. They have their own culture, right? And that we have to be able to have that in America. Well, Sean, if you don't like Canada's culture, if you don't like their decisions, just get out. Like, just don't go there. Isn't that the rhetoric, buddy? Right? Like, just leave Canada because they're a different sovereign nation with their own rules and own culture and own laws. So why don't you practice what you preach and respect all of that? Get the hell out of Dodge, come back to America, and we can protest you here.
Oh my gosh. Couldn't happen to a better guy.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Winnipeg denies permit for controversial U.S. Christian musicians concert in city's Central Park. Yeah, okay. Great. I mean, the man preaches about how gay people are demonic. Like, the man holds horrific, hateful views of other people, right? He literally, in response to this, says that Canada is under a demonic stronghold. I don't blame Canada for being like, please no.
That's always the most infuriating thing about these extreme Christian nationalist types, because you're right. They will say the most horrific, hurtful, and hateful stuff, demonizing entire groups of people. And then when someone's like, yeah, we don't really want you here, then they're like, well, it's just because you hate God.
Yeah.
Like,
and
no,
you're
we
demonic.
have nothing to do with God. This is not Christian persecution. This is Sean Foyt persecution because you're an asshole and nobody likes you.
Wow, April cursed. Yay.
I did.
Super chat for April cursing.
I did a cuss.
No, but you're right. You're absolutely right. For Sean, think about the audacity of this man. He's going around Canada being like, oh, Canada hates Christianity, as if this man represents Christianity, as if this man speaks for all Christians. No, you're literally a hate preacher, Sean. Like, you are a hate preacher. You hang out with Proud Boys. They do your security at certain events. You insist that people, like Pete Hegseth, are doing the work of God. You are a hate preacher. You said from your own pulpit that you want only Christians to be in charge in government. You want to be the ones writing laws. That's you, Sean. And what do you believe? That gay people are under demonic oppression, that liberals are demonic. Everything's a demon besides you and your friends. So for him to have the audacity that, Canada just hates Christianity because they denied me permits to sing my songs publicly is just so egotistical. Like, it's just, these people, their egos are so huge. They are like, how does Sean walk around with a head that big without collapsing under the weight of it, thinking that wherever he walks, Christianity walks? Unbelievable, dude.
I know, they think so highly of themselves.
They really do.
Oh, we have another super chat.
Oh my God.
We're
rich, April. We're buying the jet. All right. Kyle Young says, Sean Voight looks like he crawled out of a Swedish bog and could talk to a tree bark, which, as a gay man myself, I'm a little envious. Fair enough, Kyle. Thank you for the chat, man. One more that just came in. Big D.
Oh.
If anyone tells you to be Christ-like with your criticism, remember, he flipped tables, chased jokers with the whip. Also, #April cursing. Thank you for the super chat, Big D. I love that.
You.
Oh, another super chat. Calvin Joy. Good job, April. See?
Wow.
People love when you curse.
I need to just cuss on demand. Pay for a cuss. What word do you want? No, just kidding. Don't do that. I'll feel weird. Okay, well, should we get to our final fun segment of the day? Before you go on your little trippy trip vacay?
Let's do it. Let's get into some good stuff.
Weird Christian shit. All right, it is time for another episode. This comes from an account that I think is either called Preachers with Props or Pastors with Props, but basically the entire account is just
hilarious.
Preachers in sermons using random things as props for sermon illustrations. So in this one, if you're just listening on podcasts, it's very visual, so we apologize for that. But there's a bear trap involved that is on the stage. And I guess he's trying to show that, like, God can protect you. I don't really know. Let's just watch it and we'll describe it after the fact. Okay, so this guy, for whatever reason, has a real bear trap on the stage, and it is open, right? It is set. The trap has been set. He starts off with, it kind of looked like a wooden baseball bat or some kind of wooden
piece
stick.
of wood.
Yeah. Hold on, I have to sneeze.
Bless
Sorry.
you, April.
Excuse me. That was Satan. No, it was Obama. I don't know. It was one of them.
Hillary Clinton. I don't know. Her servers. Her emails.
The deep state. So he's got this wooden, he's about to initiate the trap with the stick, right? Yeah. And then at the last second, throws the stick and then is going to punch it with his bare hand, no pun intended, with his hand. And then he hits it real fast with his hand and pulls out, and the trap closes. He makes it out barely, but he could have lost his arm. Like, what on earth are we doing? I don't understand. And the crowd's obviously freaking out because they could have witnessed something really bloody and traumatizing. I don't understand. What do you think? What do you think the illustration was supposed to be?
Well, I just want to say first, pastors will put their hand in a bear trap, but will not talk about Gaza. Just it's so on the nose.
Men will put their hand in a bear trap before going to therapy.
True that. What is the analogy here? Maybe it's something to do with sin. Something with sin. Like, don't flirt with sin because you could get your hand stuck or something like that. Like it might look innocent at first, but like sin can get you.
But he got out.
Well,
like
maybe he's like,
would be more getting caught.
But then he would say, but with God's grace, you can escape. That's my best guess. I don't know.
Here's my guess. I think the trap symboled Satan, right? Satan leaving traps for Christians because he's around every corner, and he was showing that as long as you're prayed up enough, you can even go into the trap, but you come out because you have God's protection.
That's a good one. That's
my guess. I don't know.
Maybe something to do with death. Like someone said, God will snatch you from the jaws of death. That could be, yeah, that's a good one. God.
Why? But why
what if
though?
That went wrong? What if you got
that could have gone so wrong? And
those things are for real. Those traps are for real.
There were probably children there. Just saying. I'm going to put on my MAGA hat and be like, there were children in the presence of this.
Oh, God.
Protect the kids.
What a great, weird Christian bleep for us to end the show on.
Yeah. The text on the video says these pastor sermon props are getting out of hand. And I would agree with that. Getting out of hand, almost lost a hand.
Like that. Yeah. Bingo. Bingo was his name. Nailed it.
Nice nursery rhyme drop right there.
Wow. Well, we did it, April. That's it.
Tim, we're going to miss you this next month.
Forever.
Do you have any farewell words you'd like to say to us?
Just that I'm going to miss all of you. I'm going to miss you, April. It's weird to not have, I'm not going to have my normal routine for our Monday episodes or Thursday episodes. I mean, you and I, I'm sure we'll still text because we're friends, but a lot of our conversation is like, wait, we are, right? We are, right, guys? Yeah, me and April, I'm telling you, we're friends off camera too. I promise. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to miss everyone for sure, but I'm looking forward to having time with the family, not kind of worrying about, this kind of stuff for a little bit. Obviously, I'll still be around on my own socials and stuff. But yeah, friends, I'll be back. Everyone's saying bye. Like as it's like a Viking funeral. I'm just being shipped off to sea. Goodbye, Tim. But no, I will be back in September. But yeah, have a great time with April, friends, and all the guests that she booked. It's going to be awesome. And I'm sure I'll come back with tons of things to talk about, and we'll keep the show going after that. So I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that you will definitely be missed, and your voice is something that we all appreciate. And I love doing these shows with you, and it will not be the same. But I really do hope that you have a great rest and that you can enjoy your family and you can do all the things that you need to do and try to just enjoy your life for a month.
Wish me luck.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck.
All right. Well, I'm Tim Whitaker.
And I'm April LaJoy. And we'll see you next Thursday. It will be me and a surprise guest.
See you in September.